Wicked, wicked, wicked.
You just feel really calm at the fully lengthened.
Wicked, wicked, wicked.
The longest road is probably consistency over time.
Wicked, wicked, wicked.
These are idiot-proof clips. See, there's like both sides, so you can't mess up. Like, how many it is that pulls it right down? It's like the most embarrassing thing too when that happens. When you don't have the pin in and it slides down the whole fucking thing. Everyone's looking at you like, what are you, fucking new? Yeah, so someone sent in a request to see like low cable flies. I've done them from the bottom, like don't get me wrong, but I find that the strain on the bottom, when people cook here and then they grab and they come up through, it's like, yeah, you can get a lot of range up through here, and I'll even do it if you guys want. But the thing is, you always feel like you're kind of like in this weird, like I'm being pulled and I'm coming up through and I can't get as much leverage on stuff, I find. So what I find is easier for me to do, just to catch on my lower pec and to feel like I'm underneath it, is that I'll set these cables up like pretty much shoulder height, maybe like a little above, just not up at the highest that you guys normally would, right? So what I'll do is I'll create this pronated grip here, supinated grip, sorry, so I'm turned in and my chest is up over. So my chest is in front of my hips. I'm not up tall here. I'm behind, just like I would hit a most muscular. So when guys hit most musculars, they cave over their hip and squeeze in. So it's the same thing here. My weight's down on my palm and I position my elbow behind my palm, even though that looks awkward, right? So I'm pulling at my shoulder a bit. So when I go to move, I don't move quick. I literally lift my chest and flex through. So I'm almost coming through and under, and I'm picking up my pec and my rib cage and squeezing through. So it's almost like a lifting through where I'm grabbing pec and I'm almost forcing down and up. So it's this motion of down and through as opposed to like around. So I'm trying to keep downward tension on this cable and this handle, so I'm always here. So even when I'm tired or I get stuck, I don't end up here. I don't want to open up. I want to be locked in to my lat and my back, shoulders down, and I just want to scoop at the pace that I can keep tension on my hands. So if I go too fast, I lose tension on my hands. If I go too slow, it's going to be too much. So just this bouncing feeling and then scooping up through. So as long as you get this up feeling and then flex through, up through, down. And like I said, you can do it from the bottom. So same thing here. It's like you can see, I can't lock down as well in my shoulders and I can't pin my elbow underneath as much because I'm getting pulled. The weight is too far behind me. I can't get leverage on it. So you guys can still do this, but as you can see, it's like more of a throwing to even get it to where I want it, and then up through, which isn't as effective, right? It doesn't even look as good when you look at it. Yeah, so I'm literally just want to be able to set into this almost the way I would in a decline press. Like if you're over on hammer strength, anything that's a decline press down, it's the same feeling. So I'm just creating that in midair and lifting up through. And just this feeling of grabbing my rib cage, right? Expanding boobies. Yeah, so like a good superset for people who are looking to like hit lower pec. Lower pec isn't an area apparently, but we all feel it. So Lord knows how it isn't actually an area if you don't feel it. But so like another thing you can do, there's plenty of different decline presses. I'm not a fan of the plate loaded ones because they're like, the fucking handles are like way out here and you're like this in the fucking thing and like pushing, you're like almost off balance and the seat doesn't go low enough for you to hit the ground. Like when the seat's at the right height, your feet are dangling like a kid on a bus. You know what I mean? So this is a really good one by Hammer Strength. So it's like, if I do the same thing, the same thinking as I did over there where I had cables about here and then I had to lock them down in this position. Now I'm doing that here, I'm just locked here with a flat press. So I'm in a different grip. Obviously I'm not sitting like this anymore where I'm scooping under, but here I'm creating this downward tension on these handles. So I'm literally pushing down on them right now. I'm not trying to push them forward. I'm literally on top of them and my chest is up below and my elbows are tucked in. So when I go to move, it's this palm push again and lift up. So I'm just scooping. If I go too quick, nothing happens. And I fly back up into my shoulders and catch. So I have to be here, tucked in, and press palm. And then let it sit back to where it was. Push yourself back, press palm. So you can see the further you get in the press, the more the pec grabs. low, and then you flex through to that mid pec, to that low pec, right? So I'm just pushing down, sliding down. So the angle of this machine, like we say on everything, the angle is there, right? That's maximum extension. It's not a machine that presses. It's arcing. It's moving like that. It's literally on an angle that I'm pushing on. So it doesn't, like these people who are pressing straight forward, there's nothing, sorry, nothing happens, but we lock out and it's just shoulder. In order to press forward, I have to have like mechanical advantage to push this thing down. I want to push with the line of the machine. I'm following the pathway of this arm, which only goes to there. So once again, it's a machine, and wait for it, because this was fucking earth shattering. It's a machine that doesn't meet. It never touches. So why are you trying to get it to a point where these things touch, where a lot of guys are jamming out here and they're trying to squeeze it into this middle, and they're thinking that it's just getting it to here is what matters. It's like, no, the whole pathway from here to here, I have 10 pounds on here, and I can still engage lower pec. It's just my way of moving through the weight and driving through that's allowing me to squeeze into pec, because I'm not up in my shoulders, right? So like if you guys are having problems, guys or girls are having problems, and you're wondering like, oh, this machine, like it feels weird, like literally take this and be like, how does this thing move? Oh, it swoops down and comes up. Maybe I should press that way, because they designed it that way, right? Like they didn't just be like, put some fucking arms on this thing, put a weight stack. Like it's amazing to me how people just like, oh, this is a press, it's like every other press. It's like, no, it's completely different than that one. And that one's designed to do what that one does. And this one's designed to do what this one does. Like, they're not all the same. You're gonna have to maneuver your body and get yourself in positions where you can move on the straightest line or on the smoothest arc, depending on the machine, right? So that's how they design these things, is you have to get yourself into a position to move efficiently in them. That's why there's adjustable seats, adjustable chest pads. So you have to get yourself in the optimal position, because they've created the optimal line, right? So people need to remember that.